Good afternoon, my friends. Here I am again, doing great. Thank you all for tuning in. Not my will, but thy will be done. And we can read about this in Matthew 26, starting in verse 26. And I want to read it into context, so you have a better understanding. Now, at their eating, Jesus taking the bread and blessing, breaks it, and giving to the disciples said, "Take, eat. This is my body." And taking the cup and giving thanks, he gives it to them, saying, "Drink of it all, for this is my blood of the new covenant, that is shed for many for the pardon of sins. Now I am saying to you that under no circumstances may I be drinking henceforth of this, the product of the grapevine, till that day whenever I may be drinking it new with you in the kingdom of my Father." And singing a hymn, they came out to the Mount of Olives. Then Jesus is saying to them, "All of you shall be snared in me in this night, for it is written, I shall be smiting the shepherd, and scattered shall be the sheep of the flock. Now after my rousing I shall be preceding you into Galilee." Yet answering, Peter said to him, "And if all shall be snared in thee, I will never be snared." Jesus averred to him, "Verily I am saying to you, that in this night, ere a cock crows thrice, will you be renouncing me." Peter is saying to him, "And if ever I must die together with thee, I will under no circumstances be renouncing thee." Likewise said all the disciples also. Then Jesus is coming with them into the freehold termed Gethsemane, and he is saying to his disciples, "Be seated till I come away, and shall be praying there." And taking along Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, I don't know how you pronounce this name, but okay, he begins to be sorrowful and depressed. Listen to this. He begins to be sorrowful and depressed. Then he is saying to them, "Sorrow-stricken is my soul to death. Remain here and watch with me." And coming forward a little, he falls on his face, praying and saying, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. However, not as I will, but as thou." Jesus knew his Father as no one else. He knew the will of his Father. He didn't want to be separated from his Father. I think that was the hardest trial, to be separated from his Father. The awful things they did to him during his lifetime became pale in comparison with the hours on the cross, with the 3 days that he was dead. and separated from his God and his Father. Can you imagine how hard it must have been for the Father being separated from his only begotten Son because he could not reach him in death? Although he was and is always his Father. Jesus was depressed, praying with his eyes and his head and his face on the ground, sweating blood. And because of that fact, what he did for the whole of creation, all will be saved. And we as members of the body of Christ know that the Father's will be done. You can read it in Ephesians 1:11. There it says that all is in accord with the counsel of God's will. Everything is in his plan, his Aeonian plan of salvation. Only God can take care of his creation. He will set everything He's gonna make everything new. Everything new. And Jesus was singing a hymn to his Father. And one day, when all will be reconciled, the whole of creation will sing a song. A new song towards the Father. What a day will that be? Not my will, but thy will be done. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Grace and peace. Adios.